do you say the name of this bridge?
Mackinac.
Mackinac. Why is it Mackinac City but Mackinac Bridge?
Two different, one's English, one's French.
Oh, that's French, that's why. Oh, okay. Thanks a lot. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's why that's such a weird pronunciation, because it's a French word. So it is Mackinac. Mackinac Bridge. But it's kind of funny, I don't know. Like, this is the English language, we are in the US. But we have to pronounce the word in the French way.
Take the exit right, 344B, Interstate 75, US 2 eastbound, Lake Michigan circles your.
Doesn't make any sense.
Take the exit right.
Alright, relax. It's kind of like what some Polish guys are doing, you know? I don't know about US, but I met a couple of Polish guys in Canada, and for some reason these guys are very angry, you know? Because a lot of them don't speak English very well, you know, like the newcomers. And what they do is, because Polish is actually based on Latin characters, kind of like English, except they have all these special symbols, you know, like apostrophes and all these little characters on top of letters, kind of like French, right? So what they do is, they take the name the way it's spelled on their Polish passport, and they use exactly the same spelling in all their Canadian documents, like in the English language documents. And some of the Polish names, they have like 5 consonants in a row, you know, like, I'm not exaggerating. 4, 5, 6 consonants in a row. So it's impossible to pronounce unless you know Polish. You know? And so I asked one guy and said, basically I was being polite, you know, and just tried to be pleasant. I said, what the fuck are you doing? You know, I said, why don't you use English characters and English letters to make it easier for people to pronounce your name? And this guy says, that's what he said. He said, fuck him. He said, I came to this country, I have to learn an entire language, like new language. The least they can do is learn how to say my name. Weird. So Mackinac Bridge. Wow. Yeah, this is a small town. Well, actually not so small, but it's called Upper Peninsula, UP. Upper Peninsula, Michigan. And this is the town called Minnesota, I think. Right next to the lake, lots of beaches, walking paths. Now we're gonna catch another glimpse of the lake on the left. Looks like a local beach area. Well, I'm in Wisconsin, just finished loading, and just wanted to show you guys what these propellers are actually used for. Now on the left you see rusty and some are not rusty, so those that don't look too rusty, those are the ones I just brought. And what they do here is they use different size you know, those blades to make these kind of like screws. You see on the right in front of my truck, like these cream colored things. So they put a piece of pipe in the middle, and then they weld those what I call propellers around to create a kind of screw, right? And these are used in a feeder machine, the one that basically mixes up food for animals, sometimes for people. And I'm not gonna park here for now. I need to send my paperwork to Landstar. Well, that's it. Load is delivered. And that's it. The load is delivered. I am in the glorious town of Pound, Wisconsin. Not sure why it was called like that, but that's what it is. And we gotta respect string cheese, very good snack. We gotta respect the historic traditions. So Mackinac Bridge, Pound, Wisconsin. See? Pound, right? P-O-U-N-D, Pound. Why didn't they use some kind of French spelling, you know, like P-H-R-D-E-G-I-N-C, and then say, hey, we wanted to pronounce this word pound. See, no, the guys here, there's no French. Hello? Parlez-vous français? No, see, no French people here. So English. But joking aside, so I delivered the load, and you saw what they use it for, to make those blades. And now I gotta find something to go back. And two developments, two pieces of news I wanted to share. One, I got a call from Alberta, because today I think a couple of days ago, my ad came out again in the Truck and Trailer magazine for the trailer. And some guy called me, and I see the area code 780, and I know that's Edmonton, Alberta, Western Canada. So the guy seemed pretty interested, specifically in lease takeover, not the purchase, which would be great for me, you know. So I sent him more pictures. I sent him a credit application, the information about the financial company where this trailer is financed with. So that's one good news. And the second news, of course, as soon as I step out of the truck, like my phone does not ring, right? As soon as I step out, I come back and I see a message, you missed call. I just went inside gas station to buy this. I come back, you missed the call. And I don't recognize the area code, something like 336. What the heck? What was it? It was yeah, 336. And then now all my phones now, they have a voice message that says, hi, this is Sergey, do not leave a voice message, use email instead, thank you. That's it. So as soon as this guy tried to call me, I see a message saying, you know, missed call. Boom, right away I see an email. I click on the email, and that's what I want people to do. I don't want to bother, you know, putting in my passwords. That's this voicemail. It's so obsolete, you know. It's emails, right? So all I need to do is just click once for the email icon and click second time to open the message. That's it. I don't have to punch in any passwords, nothing, you know. Call some numbers. Who needs that? That's too much stress. Anyway, it turns out it's a guy from the trailer company where they're building my trailer, and that kind of a message. He says, production wants to know where exactly do you want the 3 extra pairs of D-rings on the trailer. And that kind of, you know, I've been thinking, because it's been a while since I talked to this guy, right? I sent them the money. They said, yeah, the trailer will be ready at the end of the month, my lowboy trailer. And then we forgot about it. Everything is supposed to go the way it should, and now I wasn't even sure that I am getting a trailer, you know? Like, I thought maybe I had a dream, you know, like a good dream. Because it just seems so kind of like a fantastic, you know, to use the British meaning of this word, fantastic idea, you know, not meaning something that feels surreal, you know, unreal. And this kind of question puts things back into perspective, that basically meaning that I am getting a trailer. All right, so I called the guy and I said, yeah, let's put 2 pairs, you know, they have between axles, they have it's called a axle bolster or something. It's kind of like a piece of metal, sits between axles on each side, and it's like this wide, so you can put a tire of the machine in there when you load something. And I see some guys, they have a D-ring right at on the side of this thing, so you can tie your load down. So I said, and of course, because there's 3 axles, you have only 2 spaces, right? So you only have 2 bolsters on each side. So I said, let's do that. So that takes care of 4 D-rings. And he says, what do you want the other pair? Because I'm paying extra because you never can have enough tie downs. And I said, one guy suggested, one guy I talked to that did heavy haul before, like real heavy haul, not like me, like step deck heavy haul, but he did like real heavy haul, and he says it's a good idea to have a D-rings on the actual, like a ramp that connects the main deck with the rear deck, or the rear, you know, like the front axle, where there's a deck goes like this. And some people, he says, put the D-ring right on the side in there, because this way you can, you know, it's useful. And then of course all the other D-rings, they are on the main deck. And I guess you guys, I think you guys should know what a D-ring is, right? It's like, look exactly what's the name implies. It's like a big letter D made out of metal, and it sits in a like this basically, you know, and then you can put your chain through, and it's very strong. And this is a way to tie down, you know, loads. So I am getting a trailer, and the D-rings are going to be like that. Oh, and he asked me what to put the storage bins, and now he says they decided not to use mesh, you know, like kind of like a fencing material, but he says instead they're going to use a solid piece of metal just with some holes in it. He says this way it'll be much stronger, which of course will add a bit weight, but this way I can really throw stuff in there, you know, like for storage, you know, chains, binders. They're not gonna go through and fall on the ground. Because yeah, I had my doubts about that mesh thing. Oh, and asked him, news number 3, I asked him what's the schedule look like, what does the schedule look like for the trailer completion. And he checked on his computer and he says, we are shooting for July 25th. I said, okay. And today's, ladies and gentlemen, is July 7th. So, July 25th, my trailer will be ready in South Carolina. I thought it was North Carolina, but turns out these guys only have their secret headquarters are somewhere underground. It's like 6 stories underground below in North Carolina, but the actual plant, to make things, you know, more complicated so that no one can find them. So the headquarters are kind of like CIA in one location underground. Did I say 6 stories? No, 20 stories. 20 stories underground. You know, like in that movie Eagle Eye, the guy says, take me to the 22nd floor. And the guy says, we don't have a 22nd floor. Yes, you do. Talk to your supervisor. The security guy didn't even know they had the B22, like 22 minus, you know, 22nd floor in the ground? And this FBI guy says, yes, you do. So you do have the 22nd floor, minus 22nd. So these guys, yeah, headquarters are in one state, the actual factory is in the other state, and it's 850 miles from it to go empty, pick up the trail. All right, now this movie is gonna be some 60 minutes long. We're gonna cut it short. Thanks for watching. Be safe.